Let's now apply what we just learned about our participatory music making framework to analyzing some of the musical practices in the Andean region of Peru. So, when we talk about Peru, we're talking about an incredibly racially diverse population and geography. There's a specific tri-ethnic heritage that exists here in Peru. So there's an Amerindian population, European, and then African um, populations that have come together to create these very mixed race groupings of individuals and communities. There are a lot of different cultural practices if we think about Peru, which is really important to recognize because one habit of ethnocentrism that comes from the United States or predominantly European perspective is to see other countries monolithically, just using the framing of this is the music of Peru. But Peru has many different cultural practices, various musical styles and traditions, just as varied as you would find in the United States. And so there are various cultural practices among indigenous populations, mestizo populations, which are usually more urban dwellers, the Creole and Afro Peruvian diasporic populations as well. And so mestizo's an interesting category of peoples because it's a mixed racial and cultural category. It's a very hybridized way of thinking. So, what we'll center on today for our case study is the Konima district of indigenous Highland Peru in the Andes Mountains. And so, what's interesting about this community is that they are a community of farmers. They live off the land, they tend the land, and there's a very collective and communal community life. Everybody works together to make sure the community thrives and survives. And so, one core principle that we'll keep seeing and talking about throughout this class is egalitarianism. And this is a different kind of philosophy than what you would find in the United States, where all people are treated equal in the society. So men and women are valued equally for their contributions, for their role in community. Whereas in the United States, for instance, that's still a very male dominated society, right? There's still a broader structure of patriarchy. Here, it's a lot more egalitarian, right? Where everybody's value is considered equal. So, one thing we find a lot in this community is also the value of reciprocity, giving back to people, having a mutually beneficial relationship with others. You give as much as you take. And then pretty strict community solidarity. And so, one of the reasons why we talk about the broader values and social lives of people in relation to music is because we can see these values, these same values reflected in the musical practices.